News at 5:30.
NBC 16 is on your side as we continue to bring you late-breaking developments on tonight's wildfire emergency. Thousands of people in Oregon are forced out of their homes as high winds and heat fuel more than a dozen wildfires. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Mazer. Now, Governor Kate Brown invoked an emergency act to mobilize more crews. Governor Brown says the focus right now is on saving lives, getting people out of their homes and away from the wildfires.
We know we have at least another 24 hours of this wind to sustain. The hot and dry weather is only predicted to continue through the weekend. We know our losses are going to be great, but we know that Oregon is strong and will stand together.
The governor declared an emergency act as of 2:30 this morning that frees up more money and resources to battle these fires.
Material things can be replaced. We're good. Our baby's good, so.
Residents impacted by the holiday farm fire seek help at evacuation shelters. Meanwhile, the fire itself is still at 0% containment. Lane County Sheriff's Office says there are just over 1,000 homes in the level 3 evacuation area. No word yet on how many the fire has taken out. Now, we do have team coverage tonight with NBC 16 on wildfires around Western Oregon. NBC 16's chief meteorologist is standing by in the Weather Center tracking down air quality conditions. David Ochoa is monitoring several fires around Douglas County. But we're going to start tonight with our Lauren Negretti, who is live at the evacuation center at Thurston High School in Springfield. Lauren, any updates?
Yeah, Jacqueline, we're still here. Plenty of donations coming in still. But the fire initially started at 8:30 last night. The fire officials say it was a series of fires that merged at mile points 47 and 43 along the highway near Blue River. As you can see here, the fire traveled 20 miles up the Vida fire station. Families regroup at the temporary evacuation site. Red Cross has helped well over 300 people with food and water, medical needs, and shelter. Earlier, I spoke with a Walterville woman with family in Leeburg and Blue River who described the scene.
We left our house at a level 3 this morning at about 9:15, and we've been up through the night as we were waiting and watching to see what was happening. Very, very smoky, much like this, but denser, large ash.
She wasn't sure if her home was damaged when we spoke, but they're trying to stay positive. Lane County officials said this morning they believe at least 80 houses have been destroyed along the Blue River. Fire officials say the cause of the fire is still under investigation, and it's at 0% containment. Weather will still be an issue with east winds continuing, and there's a potential for continued rapid fire growth. People are urged to follow the evacuation notices and check the county's website for more updates. Jacqueline.
All right, Lauren, thanks for that update tonight. We appreciate it. Now, multiple areas are still under evacuation orders tonight. There's a level 3 go now notice for everyone from Walterville Elementary east to the McKenzie River Station. That includes all the roads north and south of Highway 126. There's a level 2 be set notice from Walterville Elementary west to Thurston Road, including Deerhorn Road and all the adjoining roads along the way. And there's a level 2 notice from the McKenzie River Station to the junction of Highway 126 and Highway 20. There's a level 2 notice in the Mohawk Valley, including Camp Creek and Upper Camp Creek to the Linn County line. There's also a level 1 notice for people in the Fall Creek, Winberry, and Lowell area, north from Hills Creek Road to Signal Point Ramp. There's a temporary evacuation point, of course, at Thurston High School. We just saw our Lauren Negretti there live tonight for those who were able to evacuate to the west. Now, those who evacuated east, though, are encouraged to head towards the Deschutes County Fairgrounds in Redmond. Also, the Willamette Lane is opening Bob Kiefer Center and Willamette Lane Adult Activity Center as temporary resource shelters for those who were evacuated or lost power. There's also a non-emergency call center if you're being affected by the McKenzie fire. That number's on your screen right now, 541-682-3977. That call center is open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. tonight at this point. Now, multiple fires have broken out in Douglas County. First was the French Creek fire in Glide, and then the Star Mountain fire in Idlewild Park. Our David Ochoa has been on the scene of both those fires today, and he joins us live from Glide. David, what's the latest?
Jacqueline, it's been a wild day for fires here in Douglas County. While I was at the site for the French Creek fire in Glider,
Florida civil authorities have issued a civil emergency message for Lynn OR, beginning at 5:31 p.m. Tuesday, September 8th and ending at 5:31 p.m. Wednesday, September 9th. A level 1 wildfire threat is in the Sweet Home to Holly area. Plan and prepare in the event evacuation becomes necessary. Evacuation is not necessary at this time. Additional notice will be sent if evacuation is necessary.
The Star Mountain Fire started about 15 miles east of the French Creek Fire. Evacuations were issued in Idlewild Park as well. These fires come as firefighters deal with limited resources.
With the limited resources, we've probably been sending extra stuff more so than we typically would for initial attacks. Just a little extra insurance to making sure we have enough to get these fires taken care of.
Firefighters have been working since about midnight and will be working all throughout the night tonight as well.
The thing going forward for the next 24 to 72 hours is there's going to be some very critical fire weather out there on the landscape right now with hot temperatures and low humidity readings. So it's going to be very important that everybody do what they can to prevent fires to make our jobs easier so we can take care of what we have already.
At this time, the Star Mountain Fire and the Archer Creek Fire are both estimated to be between 6,000 to 8,000 acres in size. Fire officials expect them to merge together and continue heading west. Reporting in Douglas County, I'm David Ochoa. Back to you at the studio.
All right, thank you so much, David. Hopefully the merging of those two fires doesn't actually make things worse. Moving on, though, the Douglas County Sheriff's Office says all of Douglas County is under a level 1 be ready notice right now. A level 3 go now evacuation notice is in place for all homes on Moore Hill Lane and for the Bogus Creek Campground in the Umpqua National Forest. Those include Single Tree Lane, Rivershore Drive, and North Bank Road and the East North Bank Bridge. There are also level 2 be set notices in place for all residents along French Creek Road. That includes homes in North Bank Road and all road systems in between them. Right, we are turning now to our chief meteorologist, Josh Kozart, with more. Josh, we've been experiencing hazy conditions here. It seems like up and down the Eugene-Springfield area. What's in sight as we push forward?
Well, and even the Umpqua Valley got in on a bit of that smoke and haze that we saw today, and that's all due to those wildfires that are burning over the Cascades currently, with the east winds pushing all that smoke and haze to the west. This is our GO-17 satellite up in space, giving us this imagery from first sunrise as it almost looks like Mars across much of the state, with the sun being eclipsed with that smoke and haze. That's where our air quality remains at very unhealthy levels through the entirety of the Willamette Valley, and even hazardous conditions at points in time. Umpqua Valley, Roseburg with the unsafe for sensitive groups. National Weather Service still having that air quality issued for all of the I-5 corridor, the coast, and the Cascades as those winds continue to blow out of the east into the double digits. 23 miles an hour sustained winds. We could see gusts, especially over the Cascades, go closer to 50 miles an hour. That is bad news, especially when we look at our relative humidity values. That's how much air is actually trapped in, or I should say water trapped in the air, and that is next to none with those numbers. That's why our fire weather outlook still remains at critical regions in those purple regions and in the red, including the Eugene, Lane County, Douglas area at critical fire threat for the rest of today. We'll discuss when the smoke and haze will eventually move out of our area coming up in my full forecast.
All right, Josh, thank you so much. Now, while the high winds are pushing those wildfires and smoke, they also cause damage in the Willamette Valley. NBC 16's Olivia Young has the story.
As strong winds toppled trees across Eugene, urban forestry crews worked through Monday night and Tuesday to clear things up.
Well, we have trees blocking roadways, we have trees on houses, we have some trees that just have limbs that are dangling, and so we really ask the public to be very cautious around trees right now.
Some residents found fallen trees had narrowly missed their homes or cars. Others weren't as lucky. Angelique Jones heard a loud crash outside her Stadium Park apartment during the night, then looked out to find a tree crushing her car.
I was in the living room and I looked down and I was like, oh, that's me. The alarm was going off and stuff, so I don't know. I just ran out.
Many in Angelique's position say all you can do is laugh. That's the reaction Gregory Butler had after learning a tree fell on a building he manages, causing substantial damage.
Any idea how extensive the damage is going to be?
The owners of the building asked the same thing. I said a lot. I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea where to even begin with cost on this.
Shadwick says trees that have fallen on houses or into the road will be addressed first. Crews start by removing the tree and setting it safely out of the way. Shadwick says with so many fallen trees, clearing things out may take time.
They will be leaving those trees and limbs in the right-of-way areas for right now, and then they will come back to pick up that debris in the coming days. This way they can just keep responding to tree failures after tree failures.
Butler says he's prepared to deal with the debris for a few days. He says the building was empty at the time and he's just glad no one was hurt.
I love Oregon.
Smiles there, I like it. And we all love Oregon. That's why local parks aren't taking any chances with the extreme fire danger. Lane County Parks closed Mount Pisgah this afternoon. In Eugene, the Ridgeline Park System and Skinner Butte Summit is closed through Thursday morning. Hendricks Park, which is considered part of the Ridgeline Park System, is also closed. All state parks and boat ramps on Fall Creek Reservoir, including Wineberry Day Use Area, North Shore Day Use Area, and Cascara Campground, are closed until further notice. Also closed the Elliott State Forest and South Slough Reserve. The fires causing road closures across Oregon. We're asking you to check Trip Check before you go on any trips to make sure, of course, your route is open and the roadway is safe. Right now, Highway 126 remains closed between Cedar Flat just outside Thurston and the Highway 20 junction. Highway 20 is closed between that same junction west to Sweet Home, as is Highway 22 near the junction and up to Staten. Highway 138 in Douglas County is closed from Glide to east of Steamboat. And in southern Oregon, I-5 is closed to northbound traffic at the California border due to the Ashland area fire. Traffic is being turned around back into California. I-5 from Ashland to Central Point is also closed. At last check, ODOT did not have an estimated time frame for when the freeway would reopen. And of course, make sure you stick with us. NBC 16 News will continue to bring you updates on wildfires burning across the state throughout our newscast. And when we are not on air, visit our website. That's NBC16.com, our Facebook page at KMTR News, or download our app. We, of course, will have the latest information on evacuation notices, containment levels, air quality, road closures, and resources to keep you and your family safe. Stick with us. We'll be back after this break.